Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So today we are going to be talking about one of the most easiest succulents to grow, especially for beginners, and that's called as Graptosedum Franseco Baldi. Now this is a very easy to grow succulent, so if you are a beginner, don't even think twice, just go ahead and purchase this succulent. Now my succulent is not in its best condition. It has a lot of wrinkles, as you can see, which indicates that it is thirsty. Now the reason behind this is because I had not planted this succulent. I had kept it aside for it to air root, and you can see the amount of air roots present on this succulent. Now this was at the base, so you can see it is has some white roots, but the overall above roots are all pink in color because I just kept it in an empty pot for it to air root, and now you can see it looks absolutely beautiful. Only thing is that it has a lot of wrinkles, but that is nothing to be worried about because we are going to just go ahead and repot it. I already have my soil mix ready, so I'm just going to push it into the soil like this. That's all about it, and we are done. So very soon, now again I'm not going to be watering it right away because I have to wait for the plant to get adjusted in the new soil, and once after 2 or 3 days, because it's quite dehydrated, so after 2 or 3 days I'll go ahead and do a complete watering from above, not bottom watering. Whenever you tend to see wrinkles on your leaves, it means that it is already in the initial stage of dehydration. So in this portion or in this part, I would advise you to skip bottom watering and do a top watering. So after 2 or 3 days I will do a top watering, but as of now the succulent is going to get acclimated in its new soil. Now talking about the care tips for Franseco Baldi, they require a good amount of light. You cannot keep them indoor, you cannot keep them in a place where there is less light. If you are growing them indoor, you would have to have a good quality of grow light, but if you're growing it outside, ensure that there is a good amount of light, especially morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours would work out really well, or indirect bright light for 8 to 9 hours would work out really well. You can even keep it in afternoon direct sunlight, provided you have a filter. It would work out really well, but at all given point of time there has to be a good amount of light, otherwise it tends to stretch really fast compared to other succulents. Within 2 days it will start to stretch if it doesn't get a lot of light. Now I'm going to place this in indirect bright light for a couple of days because it does not have enough water. If I'm going to expose it to direct sunlight, it will get dehydrated even more. So it is going to be kept in indirect bright light until it starts getting plumped up, until the leaves start looking a little bit more plump. I'm going to keep it in indirect bright light, but then I will slowly introduce it to morning direct sunlight with the gradual introduction. Pest attack is not much of an issue unless there are any flower stalks. It could get affected with aphids and mealies, but other than that it's a very easy to grow plant, does not get affected with mealybugs. If you're going to keep it in a place where it does not get a lot of light, you will start noticing that the plant will start turning slightly green in color. That indicates that it needs more light, and it will again keep starting to stretch. Fertilizers are not a very huge thing. It's not the main priority. They will do quite well without adding any fertilizers as well in the soil. It's a very easy non-fussy plant, so you can add it in your collection. It tends to grow very fast. It can be propagated via leaf propagation, stem division, separating of the offsets, or you can even do a stem cutting. All of those methods tend to work out really well, and it tends to propagate much faster as compared to other succulents, most probably because it's a variety of Graptosedum, as we have spoken about this earlier as well. Graptosedum varieties, sedum varieties, they tend to propagate a little bit faster as compared to other succulents. So you can follow any of the propagation method. As I said, they prefer a good amount of light, so ensure that you're giving them a good amount of light. Do not keep them in a place where there is very less light. The soil remains the same. It has to be loose, porous and well draining. Ensure that you water the soil only when the soil is completely bone dry. Watering, again, as I said, just wait for the soil to be completely bone dry. You can go ahead and water it. They usually do not like to be kept underwatered for a very long time, otherwise you'll start noticing a lot of wrinkles. Now the wrinkles have started to appear on the upper leaves, which means that it is getting dehydrated at a faster rate. So check onto it. If you're very scared about overwatering your plants, check. They will give you an indication that they are thirsty by putting up wrinkles, like as you can see over here. So you start watering it until the water starts passing through the drain hole. That means that you have done a complete watering, and within a couple of days the wrinkles will disappear as and when the succulent starts to absorb water. So that's all about this very easy to grow plant. If you are a beginner, I would strongly recommend to buy this succulent and add it in your collection, because it's a very non-fussy, stress-free plant. It tends to do quite well. Even if you are a beginner, even if you're just starting off with 1 or 2 succulents, add this one in your collection and trust me, you won't complain, because it's a very easy to grow plant and tends to look extremely beautiful when it tends to get mature. It tends to start trailing out of the pot slightly, and it gets very bushy as it starts to get mature. That's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.